Alright, sorry for that long wait. I had to get myself some Joe tea, you know? I just wanted to get myself some Joe tea. Yeah. Let's just get started now. Now we get started always. Saint Michael the Archangel, defend us in battle, be a protection against the wickedness and snares of the devil. May God rebuke and we humbly pray. It's do thou, Prince of the heavenly host, by the power of God, cast into hell Satan, all evil spirits who prowl around the world seeking ruin of souls. Amen. Man, there is just so much. So much. So much I want to do. I really would like to get back into Pokemon. I was doing a bunch of Pokemon streams. Now, I played this Pokemon Black and White, and really, it's my childhood right there. And, yeah. It's my childhood right there. That was my first Pokemon game. Pokemon Black and White. And I just have such fond memories of that time. That time, it was a simpler time for me. I never had a really good experience in school. But those days, those little moments made things way much easier for me. Let's get to what we're here for today. I saw this in my recommended a long time ago. You know, me being a New Jersey guy. That's my thing. Me being a Jersey guy, that's not the right screen. That's here we go. This is the correct screen right here. There we go. Me being a Jersey guy, I decided, hey, you know, I should just check this video out on stream and just, you know, talk about it, because, you know, people, they react to videos on stream, and that's why, you know, that's just the thing that people who stream do, is react to videos on stream. Now, I didn't see this video beforehand. I was purposely not watching it so I could see how it is. So we're going to play it and give my 2 cents because I have to, because, you know, transformative content. Let's get to it. Oh, it's not working. There we go.
New Jersey has 21 counties. 21. And every single one of them, doesn't matter how rich, how suburban, how scenic, every single one of them has a town that drags the whole county down like an anchor made of bad decisions and unpaid property taxes. Now, I'm not talking about towns that are just boring. Boring is fine. Boring is a Tuesday. I'm talking about towns that have genuinely failed the assignment. Towns where you pull off the highway and immediately question why your GPS would ever send you there. These are the worst towns, one per county. We're going through the first 10 of them, and we're not apologizing to anyone. We start down south in Atlantic County.
Oh boy, Atlantic County, man. Sheesh. Besides Atlantic City, that place really is sucks. South Jersey, unless you're on the coast or in some, like, places here and there in South Jersey, unless you're in those places, South Jersey's really rough.
Home of world-famous Atlantic City. Now,
that's right.
AC surprisingly isn't our pick for the worst town in the county. Hear me out. Imagine if you took Atlantic City and then you asked yourself, what if we kept all the bad parts and removed everything that at least makes...
Man, I'm gonna tell you right now, Atlantic City really... It's like a, you can see like a night and day difference in some areas. There's some places where it looks so nice, right? Like where the casinos are, that's the, like, it looks nice there. Once you get past away from that, that's where you see all the crack dens, bro. That's where you see towns that look like this. And this is better than what the towns that some of those places be looking like over there in Atlantic City. Man. Crazy.
Makes it interesting. No more casinos, no boardwalk, no expensive restaurants, none of the circus that at least gives Atlantic City a speck of relevance. Just the poverty, crime, broken infrastructure, and the feeling that prosperity is happening somewhere nearby but not here. That's Pleasantville. All the bad consequences and
Oof. You know what? I agree.
none of the draw. The name Pleasantville is one of the greatest lies in New Jersey history. There is nothing pleasant about
That
it.
place
This town
sucks.
sits directly across from Atlantic City like a warning label nobody reads. You've at least got casinos, ocean views, and billion-dollar hotels on one side. And then you cross one road and you're in Pleasantville, where the gas stations have bulletproof glass and the Wawa is the nicest building in a 20-block radius. This town has a violent crime rate that'll make you
I
wanna
agree with
drive
this one,
straight
actually.
through without stopping for a red light. The people here are trying. There are community programs, people grinding, and good people living there. But structurally, institutionally, historically, Pleasantville has been the dumping ground that Atlantic City forgot existed. When the casinos cash out, none of that money walks down the road to Pleasantville. Atlantic County's
for
worst
sure.
town, no contest. Next, Bergen County. This place is overall very rich. Bergen County has towns where the median home is $800,000 and the dads have closets stocked with Patagonia. Bergen County is supposed to be the crown jewel of North Jersey. And then there's Garfield. Garfield sits on the...
I had a feeling he might have mentioned Garfield. I had a feeling that he was going to mention it. Honestly, like, whether it's Garfield or Lodi, or, well, Passaic is not in Bergen County. But definitely, I could see that.
The Passaic River, which, if you know anything about the Passaic
Yeah,
River,
it's just nasty.
already tells you
Nasty.
everything you
Nasty
need to know.
river, yo.
That river is not a feature. That river is a liability. It floods. It smells. It has a chemistry.
Yo, it's always flood. That's the thing. It's always flooding, yo. I wondered about that. Why is it always flooding? I never understood that. When it gets like really crazy rain up in here in Jersey, I always hear thing about like, oh, it's flooded. And I'm like, where? And it's always the Passaic River thing. Oh man, Garfield people, man. Any Garfield people watching this? Shouts. My heart goes out to y'all. Garfield sucks, bro.
Scientists are still fully explaining, and Garfield's whole western border is just right there on it. The town itself is dense, industrial, and deeply tired. You've got chemical plants, warehouses, industrial yards, all jammed up against residential streets in a way that would horrify any modern zoning board. The air quality has been a documented issue for years. There are neighborhoods in Garfield.
The air quality is so bad because there's no freaking trees over there. Bro, it's like if I was to go to like a Philadelphia suburb, but instead of being in Philadelphia, I'm in New Jersey, which is already a downgrade. So like Philadelphia is already kind of bad once you leave the downtown, like the immediate like outside of the downtown from Philadelphia sucks with all those row houses. That's kind of like how it is, but without the Philadelphia nearby, the inner city and all the historic sites. It's kind of like nothing really happens here in Garfield. That's the problem, is that area where that is, nothing really happens there.
Where you can tell what's cooking at the factory before you can tell what's for dinner.
They do have a nice, like, Orthodox church there, though. I will say that.
And look, working class isn't the problem. Half of Jersey is working class and proud of it. The problem is Garfield never got the infrastructure investment it needed, never got the development, and now it's just sitting there looking weathered while Paramus builds its 11th shopping mall 6 miles away.
Nah, for real.
Bergen County's weakest link always has been.
Paramus has so many. I don't know how Paramus has so many malls in such a small area. I don't get it either.
Burlington County is genuinely huge.
Ooh, it's gonna be. There's a lot of contenders there for that one.
It stretches from the Philadelphia suburbs all the way into the Pine Barrens, and it contains multitudes. Nice towns.
Isn't that the county that Six Flags is in? I think that's the one that Six Flags is in.
Rich towns, charming towns. Burlington is not any of those things. What makes the city of Burlington particularly painful is that it should be. This place has every ingredient for a charming, thriving, small city. It sits right...
I think I have I haven't actually went into the city. I have passed by this place though.
On the Delaware River. It has genuine colonial history. This city is older than the country itself and has the architecture to prove it. Instead, Burlington has become one...
I think Burlington was actually the original capital of New Jersey before they moved it to Trenton.
One of the more economically distressed municipalities in the county. The city's poverty rate is dramatically higher than the county average. The schools have struggled chronically. The downtown has vacancies that have been vacancies for so long, the empty storefronts have started to feel like permanent fixtures. The waterfront is the cruelest part. The Delaware River, wide and scenic, with Pennsylvania visible on the other side. A functioning marina, historic buildings steps from the water, the bones of a legitimate destination town completely intact, and yet Burlington City cannot convert any of that into sustained economic activity that improves daily life for the people who actually live there.
I really would like to figure out, like, when they were planning these places in New Jersey or on the other side, like, why is the Delaware River areas just so bad? It's just so bad. Like, besides Delaware State, I feel like the development of, like, the Delaware River could be way much more better than it actually is. Like, I don't know why they... Like, there's so much historical things on the Delaware River areas, both on the Pennsylvania side and the New Jersey side, that I just really think it could have been like there could be way more old towns, more old architecture, more stuff preserved, but they kind of let things become like this, which sucks. I don't know, it's really, really bad. The Delaware River Valley on the New Jersey side sucks completely. All of it's bad. It's almost all of it is bad.
History doesn't pay the bills. You can have George Washington and Benjamin Franklin in your origin story and still end up with a downtown that closes at 5 p.m. Burlington County should be ashamed. Next, we're in Camden County, and I'm not going to pretend this one is a surprise. Welcome to the city of Camden, the city that has been on every worst of list for 30 consecutive years. The city that Patterson and Trenton look at and go, damn, at least we're not that bad. The city where the per capita income, the crime rate, the school performance metrics, and the infrastructure have all been in crisis.
Bro. There is no words I can use to explain Trenton. There's no words I can use to explain Camden. It's like, it's not an exaggeration. It really is that bad. It really deserves every amount of shade, diss, slander ever. It deserves all of it. It really deserves it. It's such a bad place, bro. It really is. Anytime I go down to Pennsylvania, because sometimes I like to go down to DC, so I have to pass by these areas just to get there. I always go through the Pennsylvania side. I don't go through this. I don't even want to, even though I'm in the highway, I don't even want to pass through this place. I'd rather deal with Philadelphia traffic than deal with whatever was going on here.
Simultaneously for so long that people have just normalized it. Now, Camden is genuinely making some progress. Violent crime is down. Graduation rates are up from 49% to 70% over the last decade.
That is still terrible.
The waterfront has been redeveloped,
but at least it's getting better.
Is there. The USS New Jersey is docked there. But we're not talking about the aquarium. We're talking about Camden as a lived experience, as a city, as a place that has been in shambles for so long that it is structurally incapable of catching up on its own. The tax base in Camden collapsed decades ago when the manufacturing left. And what moved in to fill the void was poverty and crime. and a government that was for years.
I'm just so confused how Camden gets so bad. Like, what happened here?
Years
Sheesh.
so corrupt, it made the crime almost look organized by comparison. Camden is the worst town in Camden County because, well, of course it is. Next, down in Cape May County, Wildwood functions as the Jersey Shore's problem child.
Wildwood. I don't think I've ever passed by. I don't think I've ever in my life ever passed by Wildwood. Well, I haven't been. I mean, I haven't been to Cape May, period. So I don't know this place.
The place where good judgment goes down the toilet and never comes back.
Oh, that's where all these videos come from. These cop videos. You know what? That would be great for a stream, but I got to be careful with cop videos because YouTube kind of gets a little bit finicky whenever race gets involved. Race gets mentioned.
Cape May County is home to Stone Harbor, Avalon, Cape May. Some of the
You know what's you know I gotta try Cape May IPA. I heard that it's okay, but I wanna know for myself. I mean, I wanna know for myself. I do like some IPAs though. However, I'm cutting back on drinking. I've been celebrating too many things lately, so time to cut back on that. But when it's time for that, I'm gonna try some Cape May. I remember I tried Cape May IPA a while ago, and it wasn't good. But maybe that flavor I got was not a good one. Maybe I gotta try a different one.
Beautiful, wealthy, well-maintained beach towns in the entire state. And then there's Wildwood, which operates on a completely different frequency. Wildwood is spring break that never ended. Wildwood is the place where families from Philadelphia and South Jersey send their teenagers and pray. The boardwalk is 2 miles long, sells deep-fried everything, and at peak season looks like a theme park designed by someone who had a lot of energy and no zoning regulations.
Oh, that guy making donuts.
Town of neon signs and closed-up motels.
Maybe I gotta do that. A Wildwood reaction stream. Maybe that will be the thing.
That look like they haven't been renovated ever. The doo-wop motels, which were historically cool, are mostly rotting now. The commercial district in the off-season is depressing in that specific shore town way.
I wish I can add more comment. I just don't know too much about Wildwood to comment anything.
Held together by duct tape and the promise of Memorial Day. The city's crime numbers spike in season right along with the population. Nothing says county embarrassment quite like a town that the rest of the shore pretends it doesn't know. Heading west out of Cape May County, we arrive in Cumberland County.
I don't think I've ever been to Cumberland County,
which is already operating at a deficit. It's consistently one of the poorest counties in New Jersey, which in a state this wealthy is remarkable. And out of all the struggling places in Cumberland County,
oh man, I think that guy just hit a lick.
Is the one that struggles hardest.
I don't know nothing. I don't know anything about these places though. I've never been to any of them. Well, I never been to the ones I just said. I haven't been to Wildwood, and I haven't been to this one either.
County seat of Cumberland County, which means it's supposed to be the anchor, the center, the place that holds things together. Instead, it's the most dangerous small city in New Jersey by almost every measure. Crime rate, poverty rate, unemployment, school performance, all of it.
Is this channel AI generated? The voice kind of seems a little bit off to me. I don't know.
The city has some genuinely historic bones. There's real architecture there, old buildings, a downtown that once mattered.
Sounds AI to me.
Bridgeton lost its manufacturing base over decades of deindustrialization and never recovered. And unlike Camden, which at least has Philadelphia's orbit nearby pulling some investment, Bridgeton is relatively isolated. It sits in deep South Jersey with limited transit access, limited economic connection to larger markets, and limited political power at the state level. The poverty rate is extraordinary. Over 30% of residents below the poverty line. And it's not like the surrounding county is flush with resources to share. Cumberland County's worst town and the worst off county in New Jersey. That's quite the reputation. Up north, we're in Essex County.
I want to see what comes over this one.
Economically diverse counties in America. You have Milburn and Short Hills, some of the wealthiest zip codes in the entire country. You've got Montclair with its art scene and its brownstone.
I love Montclair. Montclair is a nice place. I love Montclair. In fact, you know what? I'm gonna head down to Montclair.
And its progressive energy. You've got Newark, which is very gritty, but at least has some redeeming characteristics.
Oh, no Newark, no Newark. Newark is not good. Newark is only good if you go to the downtown, but at the same time, if you want to go to like a good downtown with a lot of things, you might as well just go to Fort Lee instead.
And then right next to Newark, literally sharing a border with it, is Irvington. Irvington is what happens when a commuter town gets left behind so completely that it absorbs all the problems of the big city next to it without any of the city's resources.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I have been by here. Yeah, this place sucks. Yeah, I agree.
Newark at least gets grant money and development.
And this whole, that whole area sucks. So honestly, whether you say Newark or the areas surrounding Newark, they're all bad. They all suck.
Attention and news coverage. Irvington just sits there quietly being one of the most violent municipalities in New Jersey on a per capita basis.
I can see that.
Schools are underfunded, the infrastructure is crumbling, property values have tanked, and the political leadership over the years has been, to put it generously, inconsistent in its effectiveness. What makes Irvington particularly brutal is the contrast. You can literally be standing in Irvington and see South Orange, one of the nicest suburbs in the area, from where you're standing. It is that close to wealth and that disconnected from it at the same time. Essex County has some of the richest towns in America. Irvington is the proof that proximity to wealth doesn't matter at all. Back down south in Gloucester County, we head to Paulsboro. This is a refinery town. That's the entire identity. You live near the refinery, you smell the refinery, you breathe the refinery, and in exchange, the refinery does not pay you nearly enough to justify any of that. The town has been environmentally burdened for so long that it's basically just accepted as a condition of existence. The kind of place where parents know not to let kids play outside on certain days without anyone having to explain why. Environmental justice is a phrase that gets used a lot in Trenton and applied very rarely in places like Paulsboro. In 2012,
that's the type of thing that really
and punctured.
That's kind of crazy. That's the kind of thing that gets me every single time about these environmentalist people, is that they don't actually fix nothing. These like green, global warming, all those kinds of people that be trying to say, hey, we gotta help the environment, they never help with things like this. Instead, they want you to use paper straws, which suck, and get rid of plastic bags for these like fabric bags that cost a lot more, and they suck too. But they don't fix things like this. Like, these areas are still going to be exactly the same. The only thing that changes with these like environmentalist people is that your life is more inconvenienced. You got to pay more taxes too. That's why I don't trust these people. I don't trust those. I don't trust that all that stuff. All that global warming stuff. I don't trust that. I don't believe in that shit either. All right, let's hear that back.
In 2012, a freight train derailed in Paulsboro and punctured a tanker car full of vinyl chloride,
2012,
which is, to be clear, a carcinogenic gas.
I remember that. I don't remember that at all.
Into the air over a residential neighborhood. People were evacuating. Residents were reporting burning eyes and respiratory problems. It was a genuine public health emergency.
Wow, that's really bad.
More than its share of public health burden. The response was messy. Residents spent years fighting for proper compensation and health monitoring.
Now I'm very now I feel vindicated in never going down the New Jersey side of the river when I have to go down to DC. Now I feel vindicated.
Paulsboro went back to being Paulsboro, small, industrial, overlooked, and still sitting next to the same infrastructure that made the derailment possible in the first place. Paulsboro has under 6,000 people. It has a poverty rate that significantly exceeds the Gloucester County average. It has a waterfront that should theoretically be an asset. And instead, the waterfront is industrialized to the point where take a walk by the river is not something anyone says. Hudson County is a fascinatingly dense place. It's got Jersey City, which is basically an extension of Manhattan at this point. It's got Hoboken, which is where NYU graduates go to continue being NYU graduates. It's expensive, it's urban, it's gentrifying in 12 directions. And then there's West New York, which is just crammed.
West New York? I'm gonna have to disagree with you with that one. There's bad places in West New York, but West New York is not that bad. Let me actually look at the map. I can't bring up my own map because, you know, then you guys will see where I live. So I'm not doing that. Let me see. You're talking about Union County. I feel like, I don't know. I don't know. But maybe he's like going off of like pure statistics. But I wouldn't say that West New York is that bad. But I don't know. I haven't been around Union County that long to say one way or the other, so maybe it is that bad. I don't know.
In there, dense, chaotic, loud, and operating about 15 years behind the rest of the county in terms of development. West New York is genuinely the most densely populated municipality in one of the most densely populated counties in the most densely populated state in America, which means there are an extraordinary number of people packed into an extraordinarily small amount of space with an extraordinarily underwhelming amount of infrastructure to support them. The Palisades Avenue corridor is relentless. Traffic that makes you question your life choices. Sidewalks that feel like they were designed for us.
Yeah, and that I do agree with. That traffic down there, man, it really does get really bad. Very bad.
Smaller population. Apartment buildings stacked on apartment buildings. And while gentrification has done a number on Hoboken and Jersey City, West New York is still very much a first-generation immigrant community that hasn't seen the same investment. The local
I'll be honest though, like, I don't know when was this video made? When was this video made? A month ago? West New York, I don't know. At least where I went, it seemed like a very fine place. So I don't. Like, it's not like the best place, obviously. Most of these places are not good, but at least it's not. I didn't think it was that bad. But maybe I haven't been down there long enough to to really know how it is. I don't know. Well, I can't comment on something I don't know. Maybe it is that bad.
Have been, let's say, colorful. Multiple corruption scandals over the years, a political machine that runs the town with a grip so tight it squeaks. Hudson County's weakest link, and in a county full of sharp elbows, that's saying something. Rounding out part one of this series, we're in Hunterdon County, which is New Jersey horse country. Rolling hills, farms,
horse country,
exurbs, the kind of place where people who are done with suburbs but not done with New Jersey end up. It's beautiful. And Flemington is the county seat, which means it's supposed to be the hub. But instead, it's a cautionary tale about what happens when a small town's entire commercial identity collapses and nothing replaces it. The big story of Flemington for the last 30 years has been the outlets. Liberty Village in the 90s was a genuine shopping destination. Buses came from New York City. It was a whole thing. And then the outlets slowly, relentlessly died. The anchor stores left, the foot traffic evaporated, and downtown Flemington, which had been living on the energy of those outlets for years, began to deteriorate a bit. What's left is a downtown with a lot of vacant storefronts, a county courthouse that's beautiful and historic, a diner, and the memory of what this place used to be. There's a Flemington Fur Company that's been closing and opening for what feels like forever. There are development plans, but Flemington has been on the verge of a comeback status for so long that the comeback itself has become the bit. Keep in mind, this is still a pretty nice place overall, but Hunterdon County is the wealthiest county in Jersey, so there weren't really any better options. Anyways, that rounds out part one of
I don't know too much about that place to feel one way or the other, so I can't say. Okay.
Welcome back to the worst town in
Hello, one viewer.
each New Jersey county. If you watch part one and you're still here, one of two things happened. Either you weren't personally attacked yet and you're waiting for your county, or you were personally attacked and you're angry enough to keep watching. Either way, we appreciate the engagement. We've got 11 more to go, Mercer through Warren, and I want to be clear, the second half of this list does not get easier. Let's get into it. Our first stop is in Mercer County, where Trenton makes, the world takes. That's the sign on the bridge. That's their motto. That's the whole thing. And
Trenton makes, the world takes. Boy, get your going on, bro. I don't remember seeing this bridge ever. There's no way that I never saw this. Or maybe I did see it, and well, actually, because when you see it from here, if you're on the bridge, this is actually backwards. Okay.
And it's historically true. Trenton did make things: steel, rubber, wire rope. This city built the cables that hold up the Brooklyn Bridge. Trenton made things that connected the world. And then the world took everything and left Trenton to die. What remains is a state capital that the state itself refuses to invest in. The government complex is there. The state...
I 100% agree with that. It's such a strange thing that you have New Jersey, which is so rich. Like, I know these places they talk about are really bad, but in reality, like, at least most of what I've seen, most of New Jersey is pretty well off, really well funded. And yet Trenton, the capital of the state that makes so much money, is trash. Trenton is awful. It's a terrible place, and I don't know why. It doesn't make any sense. Trenton, honestly, is actually almost in the same level as Camden. The only thing that makes it not Camden is that that's where the government seat of New Jersey is, so they have some government money, so it doesn't become like Camden. But if the capital wasn't in Trenton, it probably might even be worse than Camden, because at least Camden has Philadelphia nearby. Trenton is kind of like in the middle of nowhere. It's not close to Philadelphia or New York, so they can't coast off of like the leftover money from either city. It's just kind of strange.
State House is architecturally gorgeous, and the rest of the city has one of the highest violent crime rates in the state. Legislators drive in, legislate, and drive back out to Princeton or Lawrenceville or wherever they actually live.
Yeah, for sure. Definitely. They definitely don't live in Trenton, which kind of boggles my mind that like all of the government of New Jersey is in Trenton. And like, these guys don't look outside their window while they're doing their jobs and be like, man, this place really sucks. No, they just do what they gotta do and then go back to Princeton, as this guy says. Crazy.
Capital gets the liability of hosting state government, traffic, parking, the footprint, without getting any of the benefits. Trenton's poverty rate sits around 25%. The schools have been in various states of crisis. The tax base has deteriorated, and the city is literally surrounded by wealthy municipalities. Princeton is right there, West Windsor is right there, and Trenton just sits in the middle of all of it, looking like an open wound the state keeps treating with Band-Aids. A city of 90,000 people that should be a crown jewel of the state, given that it's literally the capital. And instead, it's a reminder that New Jersey has been failing its most vulnerable cities for half a century. Next, we're in Middlesex County, which sits one of the oldest cities in the continental United United States, Perth Amboy has a genuinely interesting history. It was one of the original colonial capitals of New Jersey. It's got waterfront access.
Oh, Perth Amboy is a choice? Let's hear it.
Raritan Bay. It has real bones. And then the 20th century happened. Perth Amboy is now one of the most economically stressed cities in...
Oh... I have been to Perth Amboy, and I'm gonna tell you right now, I am glad I don't live in Perth Amboy. My goodness. I visited Perth Amboy once. Well, technically I visited twice, but I was too young to remember the first time. When I was an adult, I'm already an adult now, visited Perth Amboy, and that place is freaking trash. First of all, there's damn near nothing here. There's no like downtown. I don't feel like Perth Amboy has a real downtown, which is like the most bizarre thing ever. Like it's built like it's clearly like a city, but it's like they're down. Okay, they do have a downtown, but I wasn't there. I was more like on the edge of the city. Looking right now. Not the map. Yeah, I remember where I was. And it just feels like there's like it feels so I don't know what it is. It just feels so empty. It just feels so empty. Like, yeah, they do have a downtown and they have a lot of things there, but like once you get away from that, like you can be really far off in the edge of Perth Amboy and there's freaking nothing. And I'm just wondering, it's like, how is this place so destitute if it's literally like right next to Staten Island, one of the richest parts of New York City? Because Staten Island belongs to New York City. How are you right next to Staten Island and you're so poor? Like, did Staten Island just suck up all of the money across the river? Like, that doesn't make any sense.
Middlesex County, a county that includes New Brunswick with Rutgers and Edison and Woodbridge.
Yep, that's right.
A bunch of places that are doing fine. Perth Amboy is the outlier. High poverty rate.
New Brunswick is a pretty looking place. I'm glad he mentioned New Brunswick. I like New Brunswick. That's a nice place. That's a nice looking place right there. And that's where Rutgers is. Yeah. That's actually where I was planning to go to college, but life had other plans. That's as much as I'm going to say about that.
Schools that have been under state monitoring, a waterfront that should be a development asset but has been chronically under-leveraged, and a city that has become a first stop for immigrant communities. The refinery presence along the waterfront has also made this place one of the more environmentally burdened communities in central Jersey. You've got industrial facilities, you've got a tax base that can't keep up with demand, and you've got a city that keeps almost having a comeback and then doesn't quite get there. Perth Amboy is Middlesex County's should have been. There's a version of this city that's awesome. It's just never quite arrived. Monmouth County, Spring Lake, Seagirt, Rumson, Deal, Fairhaven. Some of the most expensive, most sought after, most beautiful.
Wait. Which one is Monmouth?
Should have been. There's a version of this city that's awesome. It's just never quite arrived. Monmouth County, Spring Lake.
Monmouth County. Monmouth County. Monmouth County is a nice place. I think that's actually where Bon Jovi is from. That's where Bon Jovi's from. Monmouth is nice, I will say. However, it's not as nice as it could be because of Lakewood, with all those Hasidic Jews moving in and turning into another Curious Joel. I don't know if you guys have watched that Tyler Oliveira video that he got banned from Israel from, by the way. Tyler Oliveira, he made some videos on Curious Joel, as well as Lakewood, New Jersey, with all those Hasidic Jews, and then people felt some type of way, and now he's banned from Israel for anti-Semitism, just for asking Hasidic people what did they do from work. which, by the way, they don't do anything for work. All they do is study Torah and Talmud all day. Crazy. Anyways, what do you got from Monmouth County?
Seagirt, Rumson, Deal.
I mean, it's kind of hard for Monmouth County, unless he has to say Lakewood. He has to say Lakewood. Or maybe Lakewood is not part of Monmouth County. Is it part of Monmouth County? It's part of Ocean County. Okay, never mind.
Fairhaven, some of the most expensive, most sought after, most beautiful real estate in the state. Monmouth County is elite shore territory. And then there's Keansburg. Keansburg is what
Keansburg? What's wrong with Keansburg? I don't know about that choice.
Happens when a shore town never got the memo that shore towns were supposed to gentrify. It's right on Raritan Bay, not even the ocean, the bay, and it looks like it's been fighting a losing battle with time since approximately 1987. The old amusement park, Keansburg Amusement Park, has been in various states of operation and sadness for decades. The rides look like they've had experiences. The town got absolutely devastated by Hurricane Sandy in 2012, which is true of a lot of
yeah. That is the case for a lot of places in New Jersey on the shore. A lot of them got destroyed by Hurricane Sandy, unfortunately. So that makes sense. Now thinking about it, it makes sense why this would be on the list.
Shore communities. But many of those communities...
And by the way, Garfield flooded at that time again. Wow, so crazy, right? They might as well rename Garfield as Venice, because it might as well be Venice. How many times it floods?
Had the resources to rebuild and recover. Keansburg didn't quite have that cushion.
No diss to people from no, anybody watching from Garfield, I love you guys. My heart goes out to y'all. If you can, please find a better place to be, though.
Visibly incomplete. Poverty rates in Keansburg are genuinely jarring when you hold them up against the county averages. This is a county where the median household income is one of the highest in the state. And Keansburg is sitting there looking like it's in a completely different state altogether. The contrast between Keansburg and Rumson, which is 12 miles away, is one of the starkest economic divides in all of New Jersey. Monmouth County's forgotten town on a bay nobody talks about, surrounded by wealth that doesn't trickle over. Morris County is Morris County. Wealth, history, and beautiful towns like Chatham, Mendham, and Mountain Lakes. This county is doing extremely well and has been for a long time. Dover is not doing extremely well. Dover sits right in the middle of Morris County, like a reality check.
I can see that. I can see that for Dover.
It's dense for Morris County standards. It's got one of the highest poverty rates in the county, and it's been a first-generation immigrant hub.
It's kind of a hard one for that county, because like almost all of the places are nice. So I guess he has to pick something. So Dover, I guess, is the one for the chopping block.
Mexican and Central American for decades. Downtown Dover has struggled. There's a commercial strip that's been in a long-term decline, punctuated by occasional flickers of activity that don't quite...
That's the issue with, like, dense areas in the middle of rural areas, is that they don't have a real downtown. Their downtown is basically empty. And I don't know how that manages to be. Like, I don't understand how there's so many towns like that I've seen, where it's like, that's the one, like, central town in the middle of nowhere. Like, you'd think that, like, all of the surrounding, like, rural people would go there to get their things, but in reality, they don't. And they're just empty. And I'm like, how is this place empty? It's literally the center area for this whole entire area. Like, do people not, like, I don't know, like, are the surrounding rural towns have their own downtowns that people go to or something? Do people just eat at home, or, like, I don't know.
Sustain themselves. The schools are underfunded relative to the rest of the county, And the political dynamic of Morris County means Dover doesn't exactly have a loud voice when the county's resources are being allocated. Dover also has a crime rate that is significantly higher than the Morris County average. Not shocking when you look at the poverty and density relative to surrounding towns, but striking when you're standing in the county that also contains Mendham and Chester. Morris County has a lot of comfortable towns. Dover isn't one of them. Not sure the county is listening. Welcome to Ocean County, which has more miles of Atlantic coastline than any other county in the state. And Seaside Heights is the epicenter, the origin point.
I see, now I disagree with you, bro. I disagree with you. The Jersey Shore has its ups and downs, but Lakewood, with all of those hot sits there, would be the worst city in Ocean County, bro. Nah, man. Maybe he doesn't want to mention it because controversy, but like Lakewood is definitely worse than whatever's going on in Seaside Heights.
The place that put New Jersey on a global reality TV stage for reasons that no one in New Jersey asked for, and everyone in New Jersey had to deal with anyway. Jersey Shore,
I don't even want to talk
Snooki
about it.
happened here. The GTL lifestyle was codified here. A generation of Europeans now thinks all of New Jersey is Seaside Heights, and that is a wound that is not fully healed.
Who cares? Let me tell you something about. Let me tell you about what Europeans think about New Jersey and the rest of the United States. Who cares what some of these people even say about the worst place in New Jersey is better than some of the best places in the UK and France right now. Because at least those places have a lawn and you can afford it. A doctor in the UK, the most he can afford is a slum in Camden. It's really bad over there in the UK. I'm not dissing on the Europeans, right? I'm not dissing on the Europeans. I'm specifying the UK because I know more about that, but it's not any better in the rest of Europe either. I'm not dunking on Europe, right? But don't throw stones in glass houses. You are in a really bad spot, and I don't want to hear it. Yes, the United States has its problems, but you got more problems than we do.
How is not even the worst thing. The show actually brought money in. Problematic money, chaotic money, but money. The town itself, off-season, is Wildwood adjacent in its vibe. Vacant storefronts, seasonal businesses boarded up, a boardwalk that gets rougher every year. The crime numbers during peak season are exactly what you'd expect when you funnel that particular demographic into a small beachfront town with unlimited alcohol options and no particular plan. Hurricane Sandy in 2012 also absolutely destroyed Seaside Heights. The iconic roller coaster ended up in the ocean, which is actually a remarkable piece of imagery. And the recovery has been partial and ongoing.
Happen.
Ocean County has genuinely lovely places.
Hurricane Sandy really destroyed this state.
And Seaside Heights is sitting up the road reminding everyone what happens when a shore town gets famous for the wrong things.
Oh, boy.
Next, we're back up north in Passaic County.
All right, what do you guys say?
Was America's first planned industrial city.
That makes sense.
Alexander Hamilton's vision. The Great Falls, which is a spectacular waterfall right
that is really beautiful. I will say that. That's also where they threw that guy off in the Sopranos. I remember that. I don't remember what happened though. It was a while since I watched The Sopranos, but yeah.
Middle of a city. Powered mills that made Patterson the Silk City. This was a place of genuine historical importance. And then the silk industry left. The manufacturing left. And what remained...
Dude, Patterson, bro. If you divide Jersey, like North Jersey, South Jersey, Camden obviously is the worst city in South Jersey. For North Jersey, that's got to be Patterson. Patterson is the worst city in North Jersey, man. Sometimes, well, I ain't gonna go into detail about my life, but Any time I have to go there for reasons is a time I always I never look forward to. Anytime I have to go there is a time I never look forward to. I'm like, damn, I gotta go there. I gotta go there today. This is not gonna be. It's not gonna be a good time. It's not gonna be a good time.
Was a city of 150,000 people with a tax base that couldn't support its own weight. Paterson today has one of the highest poverty rates in New Jersey, one of the highest crime rates, one of the most chronically underfunded school districts, and a political history that
I feel like if it's true what this guy said that Camden is getting like development, which I don't think that's true, but let's just say that it is. It could be possible that one day Paterson beats Camden because there's all these freaking dude right now. Like in the past, people were dealing with all these Mexican and Central Americans moving in everywhere. Now we got Indians moving in, and if people were complaining about like low quality Mexican and Central American workers, the Indians are way worse than anything like that. It's like, bro, I will take 5,000 Jorges over one Panjit, bro. No way, man. I don't know what it is going on in India. Whatever's going on over there, we don't gotta bring that over here, dog. I don't know, man.
that is to
Once places like this get full of Indians, it's gonna be certainly something. Hopefully, it doesn't get to that point, but I don't see why it wouldn't. This is a blue state, and it's not like the Republicans are helping either, so it's gonna be New Mumbai.
charitably deeply corrupt. Multiple elected officials have been indicted in recent memory. The city council has had sessions that would make a mob movie blush. The Great Falls National Historical Park is actually beautiful and worth visiting. The city's immigrant communities are vibrant and entrepreneurial. There are real things to appreciate about Paterson.
Man, just stop the cap, bro. Stop the cap. Stop the cap right now, man. That's not true. That is not true at all.
But the city overall has been crumbling for decades and looks like a post-apocalyptic war zone in certain parts.
Yeah,
Passaic
it freaking
County's center
sucks.
of gravity and its biggest ongoing crisis. Both things are true. Salem County is the least populated county in New Jersey. It's agricultural, rural, quiet, and it has genuine South Jersey charm in places. Woodstown, Piles Grove, Salem County keeps a low profile.
Never
Salem City is
never been there. Never been to Salem County.
the county seat, and it is, by almost every metric, the most distressed municipality in the county and one of the most distressed in the state. Salem City's violent crime rate on a per capita basis is extraordinary. This is a tiny city, under 5,000 people.
That's what the city looks like.
The numbers it generates are shocking.
First of all, that's not even the city, but second of all, man, I don't understand what's going on in South Jersey. Like, South Jersey does have a lot of nice places, but the bad places in South Jersey are really bad. They're really bad.
Relative to its size, the poverty rate is over 30%. The schools have been in state intervention for extended periods. Salem City also has significant environmental burden. It sits near industrial facilities, and the whole area has that post-industrial weight to it. The Delaware Bay waterfront, which should theoretically be an asset, hasn't been leveraged for anything meaningful in terms of economic development. And Salem County doesn't have the political clout or the population base to push for the state intervention and investment that Salem City needs. So it just stays there. Small, struggling, largely invisible to the rest of New Jersey, which is honestly the worst thing about it. It's not controversial. It's not in the news. It's just quietly difficult, and nobody's paying much attention. Somerset County has Bernardsville and Far Hills and P-PAC Gladstone. Somerset County is home to horse farms and hedge fund managers. The county's median household income is one of the highest in
That is
the
a nice
country.
looking place.
This is where money goes to get more comfortable. Bound Brook is the county's biggest weak spot. Bound Brook sits on the Raritan River, which sounds scenic until you remember that Bound Brook has flooded catastrophically multiple times in the modern era.
I've never heard of
most
this place.
notably and most devastatingly after Hurricane Floyd in 1999, when the entire downtown was underwater for days. It was genuinely catastrophic, and the flooding risk hasn't gone away. The Army Corps of Engineers built flood control infrastructure, which has helped, but the damage from years of flood cycles is baked into the property values and the town's economic development potential. Why build here aggressively when the next storm is always a possibility? The town's downtown has struggled to sustain itself. There are development efforts. There's new housing. But Bound Brook, against the backdrop of Somerset County's wealth, is a jarring contrast. A working-class river town that keeps getting hit while everyone around it is fine. Somerset County's most flood-prone, economically stressed municipality. Literally waterlogged by bad geography in a county that is otherwise completely comfortable. Sussex County is the northwestern corner of New Jersey. Scenic lakes, state forests, farmland, small towns. It's rural and quiet and, in a good way, completely disconnected from the rest of the state's chaos. Newton is the county seat, and Newton is just honestly not great. This isn't a dangerous town per se. It's not a crime-ridden city.
Wait, which town is this? Which county is this again?
Is the northwestern corner.
Sussex County. Now, I feel like, I don't know, Sussex County, there's really no bad towns in Sussex County. I'm trying to think of it. You know, maybe, let me see. Let me look up there. It's just that that's like a good money place. Like there's a lot of like farming industry over there. And I can't really think of one bad place.
Corner of New Jersey. Scenic lakes, state forests, farmland, small towns. It's rural and quiet and, in a good way, completely disconnected from the rest of the state's chaos. Newton is the county seat, and Newton is just honestly not great. This isn't a dangerous town per se. It's not a crime-ridden city. Newton is something slightly different. It's a county seat that has declined to the point where it can barely fill its own downtown. The main drag has significant commercial vacancy. Businesses that opened optimistically and then closed. A downtown that was supposed to be charming, but feels a little defeated instead. Newton also suffers from Sussex County's broader issues. The county has seen population decline and economic stagnation as younger people leave for better job markets. The hospital in Newton, Newton Medical Center, is a major employer, but there's not a lot of economic diversification. And as more of Sussex County's remaining population migrates toward the Route 206 corridor and away from the old commercial centers, Newton gets quieter. For a county seat, Newton has very little pull. It's not a destination. It's not particularly vibrant. It's a small town doing small town things with diminishing resources. Sussex County in miniature. Scenic from a distance, kind of hollow up close. Union County has its share
I don't know
of
about that
established
description,
upscale
bro.
suburbs
I'm
such as
gonna be
Westfield.
honest with you, bro. I don't know about the description, bro. I'm not saying that that city wasn't bad, because again, he's going off of like pure stats. But like, there's a lot more stuff going on there than what you just said. There's a lot of good ice cream up there, I will say. They have a lot of good ice cream.
Field and Summit. It also has some of the worst industrial hellscapes in America in places like Linden and Elizabeth. But then there's Plainfield. Plainfield is Union County's great disappointment.
Plainfield.
This is a city with genuinely beautiful architecture. Queen Anne Victorians, historic mansions, turn of the...
What county is this again?
Union County has its share of
Union
established
County.
upscale
Okay.
suburbs such as Westfield and Summit. It also has some of the worst industrial hellscapes in America in places like Linden and Elizabeth. But then there's Plainfield.
Elizabeth is bad. Now, I don't know what's going on in Plainfield, but is it worse than Elizabeth? Let's hear it.
Plainfield is Union County's great disappointment. This is a city with genuinely beautiful architecture, Queen Anne Victorians, historic mansions, turn-of-the-century brownstones, because Plainfield was, in the early 20th century, a wealthy commuter suburb. Wealthy families built elaborate houses here. It had real elegance. And then white flight happened in the 60s during the riots of 1967. There was a complete collapse of the tax base as money evacuated the city. And what was left was extraordinary historic housing stock being maintained by people who couldn't afford to maintain it in a city whose government couldn't afford to maintain its streets. Plainfield's crime rate is dramatically higher than the Union County average.
See, look at those houses. This is why this is why I don't want to hear Europeans talk smack. Even in the worst places, our houses are still bigger than theirs. Right? Again, I'm not here to diss on Europeans, right? I like Europe. Europe is great. But there's a lot of problems going on. Don't throw stones in glass houses. Alright? Because, like, yeah, this is a townhouse. It's split into two. But this house is way bigger than a European house. A European house would be like this. Like, just the first floor, this corner right here. That would be a European house. Don't throw stones in glass houses, my brothers. Don't do it. Don't do it.
The schools have faced persistent challenges, and the economic divide between Plainfield and Westfield, which is literally 12 minutes away and has median home prices around $800,000, is one of the sharpest in the state. The beautiful old architecture makes this place even sadder. You can see what Plainfield was supposed to be. The bones are there, the follow-through wasn't, and we end in the far northwest.
Bro, I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't know how bad that city is. Maybe it is like a very bad suburb. But there's no way that it's better. It's worse than Elizabeth. Elizabeth sucks. Elizabeth is full of Haitians. It's full of Haitians. It's full of a bunch of these weird groups, Indians as well. And they really dragged that city down. It really shouldn't be, because like it's in the bay. It's literally in the bay. Elizabeth is all right, like around here. It's in the bay. It's in the Raritan Bay with all the like the New York traffic and stuff like that. So it really should be, but it's a really bad spot. It's basically It's basically like a worse Newark, and Newark already sucks.
West, Warren County. Appalachian foothills, the Delaware River,
Warren
small
County.
towns that look like somewhere else. Warren County's not flashy, and it's not trying to be. Phillipsburg
Isn't that where
Warren
High Point
County's
is? No, that
largest
High Point
town,
is in
and
Sussex,
it's
not
most
there.
economically stressed. This town sits directly on the Delaware River across from Easton, Pennsylvania. And
Yep,
this
that's right.
is important. Easton has had a genuine revitalization. Downtown Easton has restaurants, arts institutions, activity, investment.
Yeah, those places are nice. I will say.
Phillipsburg has watched this happen from across the river and has not quite caught up. The downtown has significant vacancy. The industrial heritage along the river, what used to be steel and manufacturing and rail, has left behind brownfields and empty warehouses rather than redeveloped mixed-use space. The population
I don't know, it's kind of hard for that place. This is another one. This is like another one of those places where it's like he has to pick a place because it's like it does the worst off, but like almost all of the places in Warren County are good places. So
the view from Phillipsburg is gorgeous. The river, the hills, the bridge connecting it to Easton. It's a genuinely picturesque location. The bones of a revitalized waterfront town are all there. But revitalization costs money and political
I will
will
say
and
these are some
outside
bad
investment,
shots.
and Warren County is not exactly a magnet for any of those things. Phillipsburg is Warren County's largest town and its most visible symbol of what happens when industry leaves and nothing is ready to replace it. It sits across from Easton, being a daily reminder that geography doesn't save you. And there you have it. 21 counties and 21 towns that are their county's weakest link.
Now, this came into my recommendations. I don't know how. This has no description, no title. The channel has no name. There's no description. And it's Michael Jackson. What is this, bro? What is this? Who came up with this, bruh? Oh my goodness. And then I listened to this and it's like some really nice music. That goes hard, man. You know what? Let me copy this. Let me go to my channel. Go to my channel. Go to my channel. Go to my channel. Put this. So you guys can enjoy that too. Does it do it for my playlist? Does it from my playlist? Hold on a second. You know what? Doesn't matter anyways. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter anyways. You guys can see like the thing. How do I make it so I can put it without the thing of the screen? Wait. If I do this. Actually, you know what? If I go into my history. And pull up the video from my history, it's gonna pull up the actual video and not my playlist. There you go. There we go. There you go. Now you guys can watch that. Okay, let's go back to what we're doing. So before we go back to the other stuff that we're watching, right, let's go back to this guy's channel, New Jersey Uncovered, and see if he has any other videos that we can watch. Because I'm interested in this guy's channel, even though it seems like AI generated. New Jersey's drivers are insane, I will say. Yeah, this guy has very AI video. Dead shopping malls. We do got quite a bit of dead shopping malls, but we saw the worst videos. The worst videos. We saw the worst towns. Let's watch the best towns now. Best towns.
The state of New Jersey has 10 downtowns that are so good. Not
downtowns. Best towns, period. Best towns to live in every New Jersey county. That's the name of the videos? Where everybody hates New Jersey? Is this guy's whole channel? Is just this? Jersey is stupid rich, 10 wealthiest towns. Ugly side, 10 worst places to live. Most brutal roads. Toxic state. It is pretty toxic, I will say. The dumbest laws. Yeah, you can't pump your own gas in New Jersey. That's like the thing that it's an actual crime. Don't actually like try to do it. It's a crime. Don't even try. You have to get somebody. You have to get one of the workers to pump your gas for you. Stupid law. I'd rather it not be that way, but it is what it is. Alright, let's see. Best towns to live in New Jersey.
We recently covered the worst.
Maybe I might want to move. Who knows? Maybe this can actually give me an idea. Let's see.
Town in every New Jersey county. And some of you took that personally. But hey, fair is fair. We dragged the bottom, so now we're doing the top. And I want to be clear about what we mean by the best here, to avoid any confusion. We're covering the best town to live in each county, not necessarily the richest, but rather places where the schools are good, the crime is low, the downtown isn't a ghost town, and the community exists year-round, not just between Memorial Day and Labor Day. This is part 1, so relax, we'll get to your county eventually. If it's not in this video, it's coming in the next one. Let's get into it. Starting in Atlantic County, we've got Linwood. Linwood is what happens when people get tired of the shore, but aren't ready to admit they're tired of the shore. So they move 10 minutes inland to a town of about 7,000 people and pretend they still live at the beach because Margate and Ocean City are only 15 minutes away. And honestly, that's the smart play, because living in Margate year-round means spending 8 months of the year as the only human being in a ghost town. Living in Linwood
I don't think I've ever been to Linwood.
When you want it, and actual civilization the rest of the time. Mainland Regional High School is top rated, crime is basically non-existent, and there's this old railroad line they converted into a bike path that runs straight through town. You'll see the same joggers, the same dog walkers, the same retired couple.
Those are some really nice houses, I will say.
Windbreakers every single morning. It's like a small town circulatory system. And here's something about Linwood that nobody tells you. It's basically the town where the locals hide from you. The people who own the restaurants in Margate, a lot of them live in Linwood. The doctors whose offices are in Summers Point, Linwood. And the guys who actually run Atlantic County, all quietly sitting in Linwood eating dinner at 6:30 like normal adults while you're stuck in traffic on the long bridge trying to get off the island. Linwood isn't super flashy, but it's the answer to the question nobody wants to ask.
Yeah, I highly doubt like the maybe that's probably also where like the Atlantic City moguls live. They're not going to actually live in Atlantic City, because Atlantic City is not the best place to be.
Where do you live near the shore without actually dealing with the shore? Right here. This is it. Congratulations. Next, Bergen County, and it's Ridgewood. Look, I know people want me to say Alpine. That's the mega rich one. It's got the mansions, the celebrities, the gates, the driveways, longer than your commute. It's where you go when you want nobody to know. The
thing about Alpine is that is where a lot of celebrities secretly live. Especially celebrities who are associated with New York. They don't actually live in New York. They live in Alpine. And there's a hospital there that is there, like it's a regular hospital, but they also have things where like they take care of like really famous people as well as like government officials of foreign countries. And it's kind of very jarring that that's the case. Okay, Ridgewood. What's so great about Ridgewood? That's not what I was thinking. Say Ridgewood. Where's Ridgewood again? Ridgewood. I mean, Ridgewood is nice, I will say. I like Westwood more, though. Westwood is more nice.
Know your business. But Alpine isn't a town. It's a collection of addresses. Nobody knows their neighbors. Nobody has ever organically bumped into another human being in Alpine without
That's the point of Alpine. It's not supposed to be like a town. It's supposed to be a place where you escape and you have your private residence when you have a lot of money.
Scheduled by 2 assistants. Ridgewood is the opposite. It's got a downtown, and we're talking a legitimate one, not a CVS and a nail salon pretending to be a downtown. We're talking blocks of restaurants, shops, bars, boutiques, ice cream places, the whole thing. On a Saturday in Ridgewood, the sidewalks are actually full of people. The schools are top 10 in the state. The train goes directly to Penn Station in about 45 minutes.
Really?
The homes are
that I didn't know.
Not cheap. $1 million and change gets you in the door, and that's for something that needs work. But compared to Alpine, Ridgewood is practically a starter home situation. And the community is real. You've got the 4th of July parade that shuts down the entire town. You've got plenty of youth sports organizations. You've got the farmers market where everybody runs into everybody. It's the kind of place where people show up for community events because that's what you do. Ridgewood is the Bergen County town where people actually want to be. Down south in Burlington County, we're going with Moorestown. Moorestown is one of those towns where you drive through it for the first time and immediately start doing the math in your head on whether you could afford to move there. And the answer is questionable, but you start doing the math anyway. This place is Quaker in origin, which means the entire personality of the town is built around the idea of don't be loud, don't be flashy, just do things the right way. And somehow that mentality survived 300 years of people moving in and out. The houses are beautiful without being obnoxious. The main street is walkable without being touristy. The schools are elite without the parents being completely unbearable. It's genuinely just a well-run town. Moorestown's Main Street is the kind of downtown that makes you wonder why every town in Jersey can't figure this out. Coffee shop, bookstore, independent restaurants, a theater that does actual plays, boutique shops where a candle costs $42 for some reason. You know, rich person downtown, but tasteful. You're 15 minutes or so to the Ben Franklin Bridge, which means you're close enough to Philly. The schools are consistently ranked in the top of the state. Crime is basically a rumor, and the community is exactly the kind of place where people bring you food when your grandma dies and nobody makes a big deal of it. The only problem with Moorestown is that everybody who lives there knows exactly how good they have it, and they will remind you casually at parties, at school pickup,
I've never been to Moorestown, so I can't say one way or the other.
Yeah, I bet you do. I'd love it there too. That's the point. In Camden County, we're going with Haddonfield. Haddonfield is what would happen if someone took a postcard of small town America.
Let me look up. Where is Morristown? I wish I could show you guys on the map, so like we could show it on the map. But again, like I live in Jersey, I can't show it. I can't show the map because then you guys will see where I live. Morristown. Morristown. I'm getting a different one. Whatever. Okay, what's the one he said for Camden County? Haddonfield. Where's Haddonfield at? Looking at it on a map, it looks okay. I don't know anything about it.
Haddonfield is what would happen if someone took a postcard of small town America from 1920, dropped it into South Jersey, and somehow nobody ruined it for 100 years. We covered Haddonfield in our best downtowns video. But to recap, Kings Highway is the main street, and it's the kind of main street where every storefront has been there long enough that the sign lettering is technically a historical artifact. Antique shops, farm-to-table restaurants where the waiter tells you the name of the farmer who raised the chicken. The Indian King Tavern where New Jersey was literally declared a state in 1777. The Patco train hits Haddonfield and gets you into Center City, Philly in 15 minutes. You can be in a meeting in Philadelphia faster than most people in North Jersey can park at the train station. The schools are elite. The crime is barely a statistic. And Haddonfield gets ranked on those safest and richest lists because somehow it manages to be both without being obnoxious about either one. These are the kind of people who send their kids to Ivy League schools and then don't put it on the back of their minivan. The only real downside of Haddonfield to some people is that it's a dry town. You cannot legally buy alcohol in Haddonfield. You want a beer with dinner, you're BYOB, or you're driving to Cherry Hill, which is either a deal breaker or a feature depending on whether you're a functional alcoholic. Haddonfield is the kind of town that makes you understand why people stay in one place their whole lives. Because why would you leave?
At that point, why not just live in Cherry Hill then?
It has to be Ocean City. Now, hear me out. If we were doing the richest towns, I'd say Avalon or Stone Harbor, and we'd all move on with our lives. But we're doing the best place to live. And there's a very important question you have to ask yourself about shore towns. That question is, can I actually live there in February? And in Avalon, the answer is no. Nobody lives in Avalon in February. Avalon in February is a horror movie. The restaurants are closed, the shops are closed, half the houses are dark. The wind comes off the ocean at 100 miles an hour, and you can go an entire day without seeing another human being. Ocean City is a real town. 11,000 people live there year-round. It has multiple school levels in the town itself, elementary, middle, and high school.
I see.
Actual grocery stores, actual doctors, actual churches, a community that does not evaporate the second Labor Day hits. The boardwalk was voted the best in America by USA Today readers, which is the kind of award that doesn't mean anything and also means everything. You know exactly what an Ocean City boardwalk day is. Manco and Manco pizza, Johnson's caramel
Excuse
popcorn,
me?
kids with Shriver's saltwater taffy.
I'm not going to describe that one. That kind of sounds like a derogatory word in another language.
Skee-ball with a dead serious look on their faces. Ocean City is another dry town, which might sound terrible until you realize that means no drunk idiots stumbling down your street at 1 a.m., no bars overflowing into your front yard, no frat boys throwing up on your sidewalk. It's a family town, and it's a family town on purpose. Homes run from $800,000 to about $1.5 million, which is still expensive, but it's not Avalon expensive. You can actually live here. You can send your kids to Ocean City High School. You can walk to the beach in July and walk to the beach in January, and both versions of that walk will be pleasant, just for completely different reasons. Avalon is for having. Ocean City is for living. In Cumberland County, we're going with Upper Deerfield Township. Cumberland is New Jersey's
I don't know anything
poorest
about
county.
that place.
That's not an insult. That's just the census. But amidst a bunch of struggling towns such as Bridgeton and Millville, Upper Deerfield comes in as a solid rural community to raise a family. This place is basically a bunch of little communities stitched together into
bro,
one
that place looks
municipality.
destitute too.
It's South Jersey farming country. Soybeans, peaches, tomatoes, the real Jersey stuff. The kind of place where kids still work on farms in the summer.
Now, you showing some stock footage, but I need to see the town, bro. That don't look like a good place to be.
Actually afford to live there. Homes sit in the $250 to
Yeah, sure, maybe affordable.
In New Jersey in 2026. That's not a typo. You can buy an actual house with an actual yard for what people in Bergen County pay for a parking spot. The school district is solid by county standards. The crime is low. And you've got
Bergen County slander is crazy,
which has a genuinely fascinating history. It was one of the most diverse farming communities in America after World War II, when Japanese American families coming out of internment camps were relocated there. That part of the country has a surprisingly interesting backstory that nobody ever talks about.
It's kind of like a middle of nowhere type place.
On any best places in America list? No, but you can own a house, have land, your kids have space to actually be kids, and you're not stressed about your mortgage every single month. And that might be the best thing you can ask for. Up north in Essex County, we're going with Milburn and Short Hills. Milburn and Short Hills are technically the same township, which is confusing to everybody who doesn't live there and extremely important to everybody who does. You live in Milburn. You don't live in Short Hills, unless you live in Short Hills, in which case you specify that you live in Short Hills, which is different. It's a whole thing. Don't worry about it. Time magazine at one point called Short Hills the richest town in America, which is hilarious because the people who live there would actively rather die than be described that way out loud. Short Hills wealth is quiet wealth, old wealth. My grandfather started the company, and I don't really talk about what I do well. But here's why it's not just rich, it's livable. The schools are among the top public schools.
That does look like a nice place, I will say.
Public school education will probably get your kid into colleges that cost $80,000 a year if you wanted to pay for private. The Midtown Direct train gets you into Penn Station in 38 minutes, which means people who work in Manhattan can have a backyard, a driveway, and a normal-sized kitchen. That combination shouldn't exist in the tri-state area, but somehow Short Hills figured it out. You've got South Mountain Reservation literally in your backyard. Real woods, real hiking, a zoo, a waterfall. You've got the mall at
Really?
Short Hills, which is the
I'm gonna look
kind of
into that
mall
now.
where a security guard will politely watch you for the entire time you're in the Gucci store because they can tell you don't belong there. And you've got downtown Millburn, which has actual
You
good
and seeing in a
restaurants
Gucci
and
store
not just the
anyways, man.
Cheesecake
I
Factory
don't
you
really
get in
like those
most
kinds of
suburban
brands.
downtowns. Is it expensive? It's obscene. But if we're talking best, Short Hills earns it because the money actually translates into quality of life, not just square footage. In Gloucester County, it's Harrison Township, specifically Mullica Hill. Mullica Hill, the historic downtown area, is where all the personality lives. Mullica Hill is one of those South Jersey downtowns that's been there since the 1700s, and they actually preserved it, which is shocking because usually in Jersey, we knock down anything older than a Chili's to make room for another CVS. You walk down Main Street in Mullica Hill, and you're looking at actual colonial buildings, antique shops and old houses, farm-to-table restaurants and buildings.
I just don't know too much about these places. I can't really offer any commentary.
The Kingsway Regional Schools are top-rated for South Jersey. You're 20 minutes to Philly, 45 to the shore, and you're surrounded by actual working farms, apple orchards, pumpkin patches, the whole thing. Every October, the town basically turns into one
These
giant
videos
are
not the
and
best.
people from
This
all over
guy's
South
the
Jersey
AI
and Philly
generated.
drive in to pick apples like it's a pilgrimage. Home values run about $500 to $700 which in New Jersey terms is practically a bargain. That's like half of what you'd pay for the same house in Bergen County, and you get land.
Man, the Bergen County slander is crazy.
Mullica Hill is the South Jersey answer to I want a nice downtown, a nice house, good schools, and I don't want to live next to another human being I can hear through the wall. It's the best downtown in Jersey that people from North Jersey have never heard of. And honestly, let's keep it that way. Don't ruin it. Up in Hudson County, we're choosing Hoboken. Weehawken might have the cliff, the views, and the luxury high-rises. Jersey City has more going on, more restaurants, and a better skyline. But Hoboken is the best place to actually live in Hudson County, and it's not really close. Hoboken is 1 square mile, home to 55,000 people. That's insane density. It's basically Manhattan, minus the garbage smell. And somehow, in that 1 square mile, they built a town that has an actual community. You've got a Little League. You've got street fairs. You've got a farmer's market. You've got the St. Patrick's Day parade that they had to cancel because it got too crazy. And then they brought back in a different form because that's just what Hoboken does. The PATH train gets you into Manhattan in 8 minutes. 8 minutes. You can live in Hoboken and commute to the World Trade Center faster than most people in New York City can get to the World Trade Center. The walk score is basically perfect. You don't need a car. You barely need shoes. Everything is right there. The waterfront is gorgeous. Sinatra Park, Pier A, the whole Hudson River walk with Manhattan right across the water like it's posing for a photo. The schools are good for an urban area. The restaurants are stacked. The bars are stacked. The nightlife is there if you want it and completely avoidable if you don't. Hoboken has soul. Weehawken feels like luxury condos for people who work in finance. Jersey City feels like a city. Hoboken feels like a neighborhood where everybody recognizes everybody. The guy at your deli knows your order. The bartender at your local knows not to ask how your ex is doing. That kind of town shouldn't exist in 55,000 people on 1 square mile. But it does. That's why Hoboken wins. Finally, in Hunterdon County, it's Clinton. Tewksbury is the richest Hunterdon town.
I've never been there either.
$10 million for an equestrian estate. But Tewksbury doesn't have a downtown. If you want to see another human being in Tewksbury, you get in your car and you drive, and even then you might not find one. It's beautiful, but it's basically a golf course where people happen to live. Clinton is the best of both worlds. It's got that Hunterdon country wealth feel, rolling hills, horse farms, stone walls, covered bridges, but it also has a beautiful downtown with a red mill. The Red Mill is actually the thing everybody knows about Clinton, even if they don't know they know it. It's the most photographed spot in New Jersey. It's on every scenic New Jersey calendar. Every engagement photo shoot within a 20-mile radius ends up in front of the Red Mill at some point. It sits on the Raritan River right in the middle of town, and it's stunning, especially in the fall when the entire thing looks like somebody painted it. Downtown Clinton has actual restaurants, actual coffee shops, actual bookstores. You can walk, you can eat, you can bump into people. This is a rare and miraculous thing in Hunterdon County, a place where most towns seem to have a population density of roughly 1 person per mile. The schools are great, crime is basically non-existent, and home prices run $500 to $800, which again, in North Jersey terms is a deal, especially for what you get. Clinton is horse country with a downtown, and that combination So we recently made a video about the best downtowns in New Jersey, and as I was making the list, I quickly realized that there were simply too many good downtowns for one video, and that brings us here to part 2. Welcome back. If you didn't catch part 1, we covered Atlantic through Hunterdon counties here. Go watch that one when you're done with this one. Or watch it first. I'm not your dad. Same rules as last time. We're picking the best town to live in every New Jersey county. We're talking about the best towns to live full-time, raise your kids, and be part of a community. This is part 2. Mercer through Warren. Let's go. In Mercer County, Princeton is the clear option. You walk through Palmer Square in Princeton,
I agree
and
with
you
that
almost forget
one.
what era you're in. The sidewalks are wide. The trees are old.
It's a college town, though. I'm kind of iffy on college town.
There's a movie theater that shows the kind of movies you have to read.
It's a college town. I'm kind of iffy on college towns because anytime there's a holiday, things get really, really, really crazy. And summertime, no. Drinking, things get crazy. Gotta be careful in college towns. It depends on the college. I don't know if Princeton is like that. I just know that State College in Pennsylvania is definitely like that. Not a good place to be. Anyways, we continue.
Subtitles for. There's a coffee shop where the guy in front of you is reading an actual newspaper. It's the closest thing this state has to a New England college town, except it's better than most New England college towns, and it's an hour from both New York and Philadelphia. Princeton is one of the rare Jersey towns where you can hit Manhattan in 50 minutes and Philly in 50 minutes. That shouldn't be possible. Geometry says no. But somehow, Princeton sits exactly in the middle, and you can pick whichever city you feel like ruining your day in. The university obviously runs the place, and usually that's a problem. College towns get loud, cheap, and covered in vomit every other Saturday. But Princeton is an Ivy League school, which means the worst behavior you'll see is 2 econ majors arguing about canes outside the library. Public lectures, world-class museums, a library that mortals are technically allowed to use, a legitimate cultural calendar, all of it free or basically free if you live in town. The schools are top in the state. Home values run from $400 grand for a condo to $5 million plus for one of those historic stone houses on a tree-lined street where George Washington probably slept. Princeton is the only town on this entire list where people from Short Hills might be jealous. That should tell you everything. In Middlesex County, we're going with Metuchen. This town is 3 square miles. That's it. The entire town is the size of a large parking lot, and it's completely surrounded on all sides by Edison, which is one of the biggest, sprawliest, most generic suburban townships in the entire state. But Metuchen sits inside Edison like a little jewel that Edison can't touch. And somehow this tiny 3 square mile borough has more personality than every town around it combined. The downtown is walkable with restaurants and arts district and the Forum Theater, where they do live shows like it's still 1962. The NJ transit train stops directly in the downtown, and 40 minutes later, you're at Penn Station. You can't beat that. People in towns 10 times the size of this place are driving to a park and ride for 45 minutes to do what people here do by walking out their front door. They call it the brainy borough because the education levels in town are absurd. It's basically a town full of professors, doctors, engineers, and very specific people who have strong opinions about local zoning meetings. You go to the farmer's market and the conversations you overhear are concerning in a good way. Home values run 400 grand to $1 million plus, which isn't cheap, but for what you get, an actual downtown, a direct train, top schools, 3 square miles of community where everybody knows everybody, it's a deal. Cranberry is another Middlesex County contender, and it's beautiful, but it just comes up a little short. In Monmouth County, we're going with Fairhaven. This is a county with a lot of contenders. Rumson, Colts Neck, and so on. But Fairhaven is the town I'd argue is the best to actually live in. Fairhaven is in the same school district as Rumson, which is one of the top public high schools in the state. But Fairhaven is the version of that lifestyle that more families can actually pull off. The streets are tree-lined. The houses are beautiful, but they're not obnoxious. You can walk to the river, you can walk to the school, you can walk to a coffee shop. The crime rate is roughly 3.5 times below the state average, which means basically nothing happens in Fairhaven, and that's exactly the point. You've got the river right there, which means kayaks, paddleboards, sailboats, and people in their 60s who've owned the same Boston whaler since the 80s and treat it like a member of the family. The beach is a 10-minute drive, and the best part is you don't live at the beach, so you don't deal with beach traffic, tourists, or summer rentals next door playing music until 2 a.m. You just drive over, hit the sand, and come home to a quiet street. Home values run 400 grand to about $2.25 million, which sounds insane until you compare it to Rumson, where the same house costs double. Fairhaven is a Monmouth County town where the people who actually grew up there stay, and there's a reason for that. In Morris County, we're choosing Mountain Lakes. This is probably the weirdest town on this entire list, and I mean weird in the best possible way. Back in the early 1900s, a guy named Herbert Hapgood built basically the entire town from scratch. White stucco walls, red tile roofs, the same handful of architectural styles repeated over and over. Over 500 original Hapgood homes still stand, which means when you drive into Mountain Lakes, it looks like the same house was built 500 times. And somehow that's not boring, it's stunning. It looks like a movie set. And then there's the lakes. You can swim in them in the summer, you can sail on them, you can ice skate on them in the winter when it gets cold enough, which used to be every year and is now occasional. The town is named Mountain Lakes for a reason, because it has mountain lakes, which makes it the rare Jersey town where the name actually means something. The train station is right there, direct line to NYC. You can live in this little white stucco red roof storybook town, walk 5 minutes to the train, and be in Hoboken or Penn Station for work. That combination, postcard town plus actual commute, hardly exists anywhere else in Jersey. Schools are top rated, home values run $700,000 to $2 million for the historic homes, and more for the lakefront stuff. Mountain Lakes is the kind of town where the kids who grow up there spend the rest of their lives trying to get back. And then their parents won't sell the house because their parents understand exactly what they have. In Ocean County, we're going with Tom's River. But hey, what about Bayhead? What about Lavalette?
Tom's
Those
River.
are gorgeous towns with top-tier shore real estate, but we're talking about where people actually live year-round, with a job, a family, a mortgage, and a Costco membership. And the answer in Ocean County is Tom's River. Tom's River is the biggest town in Ocean County, about 95,000 people, which means it's an actual city with actual everything. Real downtown, jobs, schools, grocery stores, doctors, and a community that doesn't pack up and disappear after Labor Day. You want pizza on a Tuesday in March?
Tom's
You got
River,
it.
then.
The beach is right there. Bridges over to Seaside Heights, Lavalette, Ortley Beach, all of it 10 or 15 minutes away. So you get the beach lifestyle without paying beach lifestyle prices. Home values run $350,000 to $700,000, which is laughable when you compare it to the island towns where the same money buys you maybe a parking space and the right to look at the ocean. The downtown is real with some nightlife and restaurants. There's actual stuff for adults to do that doesn't involve sand. Tom's River North and South are huge high schools that field great sports teams and produce graduates who go to good colleges. Tom's River is the practical pick. It's the answer to the question, I want to live near the shore, but I also have to function as a human being with a real life. That's the pitch, and it's the right one. For Passaic County, we're choosing Wayne. Passaic County is perhaps the most divided county in the entire state. You've got Patterson, you've got Passaic City, both struggling for years with all the issues that come with that. And then you've got the upper half of the county, which is a completely different world. Wayne is the anchor of that upper half. Wayne is a big township, about 54,000 people, and it's the kind of place that looks generic from the highway and reveals itself when you actually live there. Yeah, you've got Willowbrook Mall, which is the kind of mall that's somehow both a regional landmark and a place where everybody complains about parking.
I don't know about that choice.
Patterson University,
there's better choices.
Jolt of college town energy without actually making it a college town. You've got multiple parks, hiking trails, lakes, the Day Mansion where George Washington actually had his Revolutionary War headquarters, which most Wayne residents don't even know about, by the way. The schools are solid, and the commute is manageable, about 30 minutes into the city by car if traffic is on your side, which it never is. But the bus system actually works pretty well. Home values run around $470 median, which for North Jersey is not insane. The reason Wayne wins Passaic County is because Wayne is consistent. It's not flashy. It's not trying to be Ridgewood. It's not trying to be Short Hills. It's just a solid, dependable, upper-middle-class township that has its act together. In a county with massive wealth gaps, Wayne is where the people who could leave actually want to land. That's not a bad thing to be the best at. In Salem County, we're going with Woodstown. Salem County is the smallest county in New Jersey by population and one of the most rural. We covered Woodstown in our Redneck Towns video, and I stand by everything I said there. But that doesn't mean Woodstown isn't also a genuinely great place to live. Both things can be true. Woodstown is a tiny historic borough, about 3,700 people, Quaker roots, tree-lined streets, brick buildings downtown that have been standing since before electricity was a sure thing. There's a main street of shops, restaurants,
nowhere,
coffee
man.
place. The kind of downtown where the lady in the bakery knows your
How is this
order
gonna
and your
be?
kids'
I
names
mean,
and probably
you gotta
your
pick an
mother's
option,
maiden
I guess. So.
Woodstown High School football is religion. The Salem County Fair is the social event of the year. Cowtown Rodeo is 15 minutes away. The whole vibe of the area is we know exactly who we are and we don't need to explain it to anybody. The cherry on top, homes are cheap by Jersey standards. $250,000 to $500,000 for an actual house with a yard.
I'm not really bored of this video,
you can own
bro.
a 4-bedroom
I mean, let's see
historic
the
home in
next
Woodstown for what
town.
people in North Jersey pay for
What's
a
the next one?
condo with a parking spot they have to share with their neighbors. Revolutionary War. The Basking Ridge Oak, which lives.
Let me just ask the AI. Really, just give me the freaking ones already. Give me the list. Okay, Mercer County, Princeton, Middlesex County, Metuchen, Monson County, Fairhaven, Morris County, Mountain Lakes, Ocean County, Toms River, Passaic County, Wayne, Salem County, Woodston, Somerset County, Bernardville, Sussex County, Sparta. Yeah, I agree with that one. Union County, Westfield. Westfield. What is Westfield? I would have said, well, actually, I can't say Edgewater. That's too expensive. And that's part of Bergen County, not Union. Where it at? Oh, Union County. I'm thinking Hudson County. Stupid. Okay. Where is that at? West. Feud. Sure, I guess. Warren Counting, Hackettstown. I've never been there. Alright, that's enough of that. That is enough of that. Now I know not to watch this channel because it's mostly AI generated nonsense. But that was pretty interesting to see what they had to say.
So we recently made a video about the best downtowns in the...
Let me go back to my playlist. Where is it at? I might watch later. Videos to react to. So I'm gonna move these two videos because I reacted to them already. Philosophy YouTube is for gay retards. We'll watch that another time. 13 New Jersey towns that were slowly abandoned. I think we kind of already, I think we're done with the New Jersey topics for now. This is what I'm going to do. I am going to play something random. I'm just going to play something random. Let me pull up my capture card again. In the meantime, let's listen to Michael Jackson. Oh. Yeah, this guy has like a really interesting thumbnails. But let's go back to the video. Where's my controller? Oh, my controller. Where did I put my controller? Where did I put my controller? Just realized that this is kind of on 2 times speed, 1.5 times speed. Still trying to find my controllers at. Did it freaking moan? I don't know what that was about anyways. No, I have no idea. Alrighty. Close all this, so. You already know what time it is. Time for some Pokemon Champions. Okay. Wait, can I use a mouse? No, I can't use a mouse. Wait a second. Do I have enough money to recruit something? These are some good picks. So we got Mamoswine, Skullvillain, which, by the way, Skullvillain, that was one of my Pokemon I had in that game that's called Scarlet and Violet. I had the Violet version. Luxray. Arcanine, Charizard, Lurks, Venusaur. Crabdomino, or Crabdomino. No clue. No clue how it's supposed to be. The Net and Gorgist. I don't know. I don't know, man. Skullvillain is actually pretty good in terms of coverage, but I don't know what more I can do with a Skullvillain. Maybe it's good for like what's it called, for a Sunny team, a Sunny Day team where I use Sunny Day and they use his flamethrower and what's it called, Solar Beam. It's got stab on both moves. Luxray. Luxray is a Pokemon that looks like it should be good and like it's really cool looking, but in reality is actually not a good Pokemon. Same thing goes for Arcanine, although Arcanine has a bit more use nowadays, but still not the best. In reality, none of these Pokemon are actually the best except for Charizard, Venusaur, and Mamoswine. I already have these, so I'm gonna go with the Mamoswine. I really have like all of these Pokemon I have except for Mamoswine. Actually, I have a Mamoswine too. But I'm gonna get it. I'll get a Mamoswine. Can I get it permanently? No? Well, then we'll come back for this then. We'll get a little bit more money. A little bit more points. Alright, let's do this. Yep. Wait, what? It's my team. Star Fallen. Definitely gonna go with one of these. So we're gonna go Palafin. And these guys. And the cupcake. Another one. Dang, got me. Let's see what we got. Come on, come on. Oh, I only have a good counter to this. Except I actually do. It's called Palafin. Oh, that did quite a bit of damage. No, it's over for me. Nah, forget about it. Now we're done here. the sweats came out. The sweats came out to play today. Amy. Ooh. That's real tough. Bruh, yo, what's going on, bruh? Come on now. Come on now. That's tough, bro. That is real tough. I don't even want to count that as a. I didn't even want to count that as a win from how bad that guy did. Yeah, I didn't even want to count that as a win from how that went. That was horrendous. That was absolutely horrendous how that went down. Valiant 175. Okay, so he's got some fires. I'm gonna go with Palafin. Lucario. And this one. No. This one. Yeah, we can't have that, bro. Oh! Dang, bro, that is really tough, bro. Honestly, that sucks. That guy got frozen. That's crazy. I guess we'll bring out the next one. I'm like, bro, I don't know how you gonna resolve this. This is real tough out here, bro. Man, that really sucked. I'm pretty sure he had like a really great strategy with his Dragonite. Well, unfortunately, bro, RNG hit you, bro. You got your thing frozen. Crazy, man. That's just what happens. That is just what happens. Charizard, the early riser. Okay. I'm going to switch him out for... No. Switch him there. Nope. Yeah, real serious now. Oh, snap, that's really strong. I didn't know that was super effective. I thought Psychic resisted poison. My internet connection is unstable. What are you talking about? Is he trying to rage quit? I hope the guy's not trying to rage quit, bro. So my internet connection is unstable. No, it's not. Need to stand a chance of it, so. But this is where things get real dicey now. Peace out, brother. Well, I'll say my internet connection is unstable, so I guess we're gonna leave it here for today. There you go. Nope. Alright. asleep now. Got Meganium. Where did I get this from, bruh? You telling me I could have had all this stuff at the beginning, bro? That's kind of crazy. That's wild. That's just wild. Well, I got everything I was gonna get. Now now I'm loaded. Look at that. Let's go get our mammal swine and then... So we got regular Rotom, which is okay. Ranunculus, okay. Pangoro would be great if it wasn't for the fact that it's 4 times weak against fairy types. That makes it trash. Stunfisk. It's okay. Okay. I think this is the second best evolution besides Sylveon. Absol. Heracross. Snorlax we have already. Gyarados we have already. Not on this account, but we have this, like, this easy to get. Let's get an Absol because I don't think I have a good Absol in my box. Wait, can I just use a ticket? Okay. Alright, then that's enough for today. Let me see now. Okay, so I know it's knockoff, which is good. Psycho Cut, Play Rough. I think that's, I think those are good moves. Or... How do I get this one? How do I get the Skarmory? I'm gonna Kangaskhan too. And sure, I guess, but I don't really use any of that. So I don't need that, bro. Just a bunch of points, okay. So what does it take for me to get the Skarmory? How much? What's going on with this? Really? I gotta pay for that? Get your goofy on. Get on with that, bro. No. The answer is no. Let's see, what we gonna get for... I think we got... Wait, Skull Villain has a Mega Evolution? When did that happen? When did that happen? Okay, let's go back. We got a Absol. Does Absol has his Mega Evolution here or not? Let me see. There's no Absolite. We'll just organize it by... I think it'll be best if you just organize it by alphabetical order. Here we go. Get that. Thank you. Alright, let's get back. And I think we're just gonna call it there for today. We're gonna call it there for today. Let me go back. Just give me a bit.
Judge.
I always like watching a couple Cedric Simpson videos sometimes. I don't know what it is, what's going on in Detroit, Washington, all county, but there's always some weird things going on. It's always something crazy.
For show feature assistant public defender on behalf of, but not with Mr. Bruce Vick. Your Honor, we have called him. Looked outside in the hallway, looked in the courtroom. He does not appear to be anywhere. Not be here, Judge. I will, for the record, request an adjournment.
Actually, let me not do this because it's like I'm taking the content.
Bench warrant will issue for defendant's failure to appear. Bond will be set in amount of $10,000.
Thank you, Judge.
As surety. Warrant will issue immediately.
10,000. My goodness, man. Yo, how hard is it to just show up in court when you need to, bro? 10,000 warrant. Damn.
Case People versus Sarah
Well,
Ward.
that's a very expensive mistake right there. That's a very, very expensive and avoidable mistake.
Mike Getty, Assistant Public Defender on behalf of Ms. Ward, Your Honor. Approaching.
Her name?
Sarah Ward.
Is that it?
That's again adjournment.
Yeah, sure.
Man, just here with a freaking Luffy One Piece shirt. Is that the right? Is that everything that just happens here, bro? Is that it? That seems to be it.
She previously waived.
These videos suck, honestly, man. This is why I don't like. This is why I was gonna like make a series of like reacting to like court moments, but like it'll be like compilations where it's like you have one thing and then the rest of the video is just complete nothing. All right, well, you know what? Actually, I'm gonna call it here. I'm gonna call it here. That's it. I don't know. Well, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed the stream. Those New Jersey videos were a lot more underwhelming than I was expecting them to be. I was expecting it to be like a little bit, a bit better. I didn't know that they were actually AI generated, and it's not like that's a problem, but it's kind of like low quality video. It's not really good, like some good videos. Yeah, I'm looking down what I'm looking up, And it's all a bunch of stuff that I've seen already. Yeah, definitely. AI generated photos. Yeah. A lot of garbage today. Anyways, God bless y'all. Take care of yourselves. And I'll catch you guys tomorrow. Peace.